exactly on the dot, on the time. And I'm just basically making sure that we're going live on Facebook and that everyone is coming into the room and that everything is recording well. Welcome, everyone. And I believe you all enjoyed the previous talk by Letitia, the Phoenix of Africa. Now we are privileged and honored to have the following speaker. She's going to talk today about career promotability, building your professional brand equity. I love this talk, and it's a talk by Chantal Carding. She's the Managing Director, Leadership and Talent Strategist at The People's Shop. What a beautiful name for a company. She's a leadership and talent strategic psychometrist, master NLP and TLT coach, emotional intelligence certified practitioner, and career advisor. Today's talk is about, some say it is not what you know, but who you know. I believe it's about who knows you, the quality of the brand you have created within your organization. The World Wide Web and the wider industry has significant impact on your upward mobility and longevity of your career. This focus is on assisting the delegate practically to manage their primary business. Me Incorporated, taking a proactive and strategic view to building their professional and personal brand to place the keys to their career back in their own hands. Career longevity requires your professional brand to have muscle memory. And I think that is what Swing is about, important for me, is you need to have a personal brand. It's basically, it helps you to stand out in the end of the day. So today is all about you. It's about building your brand, and we have privilege to have Chantal all the way from Cape Town here on this talk tonight. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cobus, for a wonderful introduction. It is a privilege to be with you here this afternoon. The noon gun has just sounded in Cape Town, and we're talking about my other favorite topic, and that's people's careers. I refer to your career as your life's work, and let's get straight into it. So for those of you who are on the call, as you get in, we're going to do a quick bit of an intro. So if anybody hasn't started, we'll give the rest a minute to get on there. But if you'd like to put your name in the chat box, like we've been asking for the last 2 weeks, but this time add an adjective to it. So I'm charismatic Chantal. My partner guy next door to me is charming Carissa. So please add your name there with an adjective. And if you're bold enough, I'd encourage you to pick a Disney character that you think you would be, or otherwise, if you were to be a brand, what brand you would be and why. So Cobus, if you wouldn't mind, if you see anything interesting there, just give it a quick minute. So your name with an adjective, if you're introducing yourself, if you would be a Disney character, which one, and if you were to be a brand, why? Which brand and why?
Okay, I see people still typing, Chantal.
Typing, fantastic. I'll give you guys a quick second, and as you do that, I'm going to flip the slide, but type into the comment box. Cobus kind of alluded to what I just said earlier, is as I was growing up and my parents kind of were in the working in the corporate environment, life was about what you know. If you acknowledge and you were skilled, you have secured a job and a career. As I was progressing, I would say into my teen lives, my mom always said it's about who you know in business. If you know someone in business, they'll help you to get the job. And in this digital, transforming, progressive world we're living at the moment, I believe it's changed to who knows you. We're living in an age of social media. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody's friend across oceans and continents. You are one click or one accept button away from knowing people quite intimately via social media, LinkedIn, all these different platforms. But the critical part is who knows you and what they know about you. And that's the part you have the ability to influence. So with you wonderful brands being on the phone, here's my question is, any Disney characters or brands out there?
So what we have here is someone live. Character is Merida, and then there's Minnie Mouse, and then there's charming Carissa, brand Apple, because I love technology. I'm Little Mo Mickey Mouse, Mr. Castle Lager. Good morning, expressive Sonia, Bella from Beauty and the Beast. Keep believing in others and sticking with own strong morals. Francis, fabulous Francis. Elsa from Frozen, brand Cartier. Hi all, can someone assist me? I'm struggling. Okay, Sile, struggling. I'm currently using myself as really. Just to put in the box what you are struggling with. Otherwise, the best is just to restart your browser and reconnect, and you would be able to come in easier again as well. Yeah, so that is the brand, Santal.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for those. So I'll allude to those a little bit later as we go. But the big thing that I'm trying to put across in terms of asking you which brands you want to be, and it's quite amazing. I oftentimes do this with the youth at the Amy Foundation that we get involved with. And when I ask them, what brand do you want to be and who do you want to work for? It is quite consistent that I get the answer is, I want to work for me. And if I do it with adults in the corporate world, they tell me all these company brands I want to work for. And the big thing is you don't work for an organization, even though you're receiving a paycheck from it. You're working for you. So from here on forward, your most important job is that you are the head marketer of your business, Me Incorporated. So as an entrepreneur of this organization, it's important that you are the entrepreneur of your talents, of your skills, of your career, manifesting your excellence. Me Incorporate is about you manifesting your excellence. So what is this thing called personal brand equity? We hear marketing organizations speaking about brand equity. What is the value? What is the commercial value of a company brand? Be that a Nokia or an HP, as this beautiful character puts down, it's what is it worth? And for a human being or for a person, you too have an equity value. It is a combination of your charisma, of your ability, of your character. It's your calling card. It's your first impression, but it's also the lasting impression. In your personal brand equity, it's so important that you bring your brand across clearly and consistently. In so many career discussions I've had over the years, is one of the hardest questions consistently is, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? If I asked you what kind of a salary you would like, the answer is super easy to find. But when I ask you where you want to take your Me company, where you want to see yourself grow and aspire to, oftentimes that question has not been thought about. And what you want to do is to really contemplate where you want to go forward so you are able to create a memorable experience for people. Maya Angelou said that people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Your brand equity really is that energy exchange of the memorable experience people have and will remember lastingly about you. So personal brand equity is bringing who you are to what you do and how you do it. So this matter of brand equity, it comes down to supply and demand. Is what have you got to offer and what is the world wanting to experience or get from you? Whether that be optimism, balance, peace, creativity, there's power in these colors, there's power in your brand. So let's start with an outside-in approach. So in terms of looking at the outside world, at this point in time, we've seen on a daily basis how the business world is changing to needing a huge amount of agility, adapting to these disruptive times. Innovation, responsiveness. The companies who I believe have done the best through this pandemic is companies who've reinvented. We've seen FMCG companies selling their products directly to consumers. We've seen so many innovations, companies who own no assets making the greatest amount of profit. And as a consumer, which you and I are all, consumers, is we want to be aligned with and have an experience of purpose-driven businesses and green organizations, green supply chains. And to almost complicate this business element is people want customer service. I think we're not experiencing in South Africa yet, but some of the online companies overseas have got 1 hour delivery. ShopRite locally is doing 1 hour food delivery in your area. So this responsiveness, why wait for 2 days or drive if I can get in an hour? And then customization. You've got organizations literally customizing your jeans to your exact fit and style. We want it to be custom made for us. So this personal experience of life we're all searching for. And then the last thing is around skills. As I said before, the life was about this hard skills, this intangible advanced competencies and soft skills really is the game changer of today. So we've spoken in our previous discussion, but just kind of to highlight these again, is the future skills of work which is required. We see all these disruptions, super organized organizations who've got a need for social technologies that help them to create value, a computational world, a lot of rise of machine learning, new media to interface with people. A technology like Zoom, for example, has skyrocketed in this period because we're not seeing each other face to face. We need to find a new way to communicate. So looking in that kind of center part is the skill set. So in order to manage this computational world with super structured organizations, you need a mindset of design. In order to manage this global connectivity and this organization, virtual collaboration, social intelligence, adaptive thinking is some of the key drivers and skills that we're seeing that is going to take us into the future. So if we take this view and we now go from the inside out about you and what you've got to offer, is from a human needs perspective, they speak about 6 core human needs that we have. The first 2 are really kind of paradoxical to each other. So we want certainty, we want to know that we're getting an income, we want to know that our homes are stable and safe. But at the same time, we want variety. We don't want to eat the same food every day. We don't want to experience the same thing every day. We want to be able to experience new things, to not be bored. And then on the other side, we want love and connection. We want to be connected to people, to family, and have these special relationships. But the paradoxical flip side of that is to be significant, to make an impact of your own self, feeling needed, feeling wanted, being special, standing out. And then we have these, they call them the spiritual needs. We have a human need to grow. Just like plants and human beings grow from little to larger and adults and wisdom, it's a human need to grow and to expand ourselves. And the last one is contribution. There's a beautiful book by Bob Buford called Success to Significance. There is a place for many people in that sort of second part, that second half of their life, where just being successful no longer is fulfilling, but making a contribution to mankind, to your community, to your family, that's what really matters. And I think if anything, this pandemic period really has brought this contribution and connection so much stronger to the forefront. And if we take another look deeper into you, who you are, it's so critical to have a vision for yourself. And I think that oftentimes we're so living in the outer world of demands, and I have a job, and do I think about having that as a career in the long term? Is here's where I am right now, but what would I like my life or my family world to look like? And to really truly understand what matters to me, what gives me joy, what gives me meaning. In our society, I think there's a beautiful rekindling of values. What do you value? What matters to you? What do you stand for? And taking time in this period to spend 5 minutes with a cup of something warm to just really think about, who am I? And that answer may not come in the first time. You may want to kind of leave it with your subconscious mind a couple of times and kind of bring up the question saying, it's who am I? What matters to me? We get so busy with a to-do list, and I'm a queen of a to-do list. My friends and colleagues will tell you is I am a planner. But it's so key to be able to step back from them saying is, who do I want to be in this world? Looking forward, who do I want to be? As some of you may know, as I climbed Kilimanjaro with Quibus, our MC for the day. And what for me was really powerful is I stretched myself so beyond my comfort zone, and the Chantal that was then had no faith or belief in the ability to conquer that mountain. But by stepping back and saying, is who do I want to be? I created this persona called Kili Legs 11. And after 7 days and more than 100 kilometers uphill, I never had a day of absolute leg agony because that persona, that sense of being, was able to carry me through. And looking at your career, you also want to not just look at what am I supposed to do, what are my KPIs, but saying is, who do I want to be? What is the stamp that I'd like my career to leave on this world? Because that's what your career is. It is your stamp on the world. There's a beautiful book about your why by Simon Sinek, and he speaks about the golden circle. And the key thing is to be able to come from your why. And that's why I kind of encourage you to spend time understanding who you are, who you want to be, and what matters to you. Because when you spend time and you understand what your purpose is, it is so easy from there to align to a career path. And oftentimes it's not about being there right now. It's so critical when you're looking at reassessing your career is to just create a baseline. Is yes, have a future focus of where you want to go to. But understand is where you are right now is exactly where you need to be because you've had learnings in this particular place, in this particular space. And wherever you're wanting to go forward it's a step, it's a journey. It's a beautiful thing I said to someone on Tuesday is you are on your way and you are busy. Not even on your way, is you're creating a masterpiece. And you definitely, I believe every single person has at least one masterpiece inside of them. And that doesn't just take one go. That is a journey that has multiple steps in it. And right now, what you want to do from today is just to say, baseline, where am I now? Where do I want to go in the future? And before you can start plotting that path forward, is another key question to ask is, how do you define success? We so often, and I think even more so in the social media world we're living in, is comparing ourselves to what social media icons and personalities are living and experiencing, for the most part, real life, and showing up all the happy moments. But what success is for you is personal. For me, it really has been, from a career perspective, is the success to significance is, for me to be successful is to live a life of significance, a life of contribution. And in saying that, I think for me, the big focus in terms of this career path and defining success for me was looking at my career not as a job, more as a calling, but that halfway point is really is what is my life's work? My life's work is to spread love in business. And then kind of taking back to a quick story and just really wanting to speak to you about igniting this personal vision and doing the work of exploring who you are and where it is you want to go. Vision is so important. The more we can include all our senses in our daily experience, the more heightened our experience of that would be. And oftentimes when we speak in a career kind of coaching space about vision creation, we speak about your grandest vision, a vision that inspires you. And on my dream board that you can see on the slides is, before going to Kilimanjaro, I was, I believe, crystal clear about my personal mission set, about what I was going to do in this world. And it really was kind of forging and nurturing raw talent. And I climbed off the mountain, and for the month of August, exactly 2 years ago now, is I realized that this box I'd put myself in was too small. I was like a cat in a really plush cat in a super tiny box. And I needed to find a new vision. And I want to kind of point to the bottom corner of the slide. There is children sitting in a classroom setting, and below that there are these children that are actually an Africa emblem. And sort of going back to that period is the personal mission statement I created for myself was to guardian the leadership culture, to raise the grandchildren of Africa through unconditional love. And that for me at this point in time is the grandest and the highest vision that I can aspire for. And with this personal mission statement, a beautiful story followed. Is I put it out there and I said, as a mother to 2 children, I have been preparing my children to be citizens of the world, to potentially have a good enough education that they can go and study overseas potentially. And more than likely, then if that's their peer group, they will get married, and have families overseas. And they will not be, my grandchildren will potentially not be citizens of this continent. And that kind of really kindled this feeling for me of saying is, I have such a deep passion for our country and our continent. And that is the grandest vision I can have, is to be able to contribute to our country in a manner that my grandchildren will have the opportunity and the possibility of being raised on African soil. And as the story continues, and pure miracles, is about a year ago, one of my networking partners called up and he said there's this opportunity with the local government, particularly in the education space, and they're looking for change mindset work for all their teachers across the province. And I was intrigued and went for the session and was absolutely blown away by this vision of changing the mindsets, doing personal mastery with every teacher in this province. And by the grace from above is we actually were awarded the opportunity to take this work further. And it was just incredible how this personal vision statement and mission statement of raising the grandchildren has now led way to uplifting and empowering the teachers of more than 1 million children in South Africa at the moment. And I believe that is going to grow. So the power of creating this vision so clearly in your mind is how they become reality. So spend the time to create that personal mission statement for yourself. So let's talk more about you and less about me. So when you talk about the supply side, so we now know what is demanded of the world or from the world from you, and then also kind of what is required of you from you. What is there to supply? We talk about what do you have to sell? What is your commercial uniqueness, your differentiator? The secret to personal brand equity is to stand out and to impress with your unique, but also your authentic you. So often we're trying to live up to other people's expectations, or we're trying to do what we think the world wants us to do versus saying is impress in person, on paper, and online with who you truly are. Your value proposition is made up of a beautiful equation of your track record, which is your past history, your capability, what is in your toolbox, your character, that grit, that values, the things that matter to you, your potential. I believe 100% that you have limitless potential. The universe and the world is just waiting for you to catch up and ask what that limitless potential is. And the second thing is reliability. In this world today of so many opportunities, if you are not dependable and reliable as a business or as a brand or as a person, that will drop your value proposition greatly, and there is so much more competition who will take that opportunity. And that's kind of divided by your cost and risk. In business today, companies are so risk averse with the amount of disruption happening is companies want to reduce their risk in order to have the longevity. And as a brand and as you need to be able to be value for money in terms of cost, because expensive is okay if you're bringing the value. And secondly, low risk, managed risk. So what is this authentic value proposition? It's a combination of 5 things: your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your passion, and your purpose. In terms of your strengths, you want to showcase and soar with your strengths. Weaknesses, one, mitigate them and risk management, if you want to call it that. Development areas, the first biggest thing to do is I find is we rarely speak about weaknesses, but rather about development areas. What is not been honed or crafted yet? And another way to mitigate those development areas is to develop a new skill. And in this world of such fast changing technologies and just advancement in the world, is being a regular or a lifelong learner is one of the most valuable things you can do for yourself. The third one is to be able to align with your values. Bring into congruence and full alignment what matters to you and who you are in the world. Pursuing your passions is, they say that passion is one of those few things that will push you past the pain barrier. And lastly, fulfill your purpose. This great and grandest vision you have for yourself, fulfill that purpose. They say that, or Dr. Seuss says, Today you are you that is truer than true. There is no one in the world who is youer than you. And in Chantal's excited sort of fashion, I forgot to encourage you to get a pen and paper. And if you're able to do so in the next couple of seconds, I want to encourage you just to get a quick pen and paper, and I'm just going to ask you 4 questions with an A or B question answer. So just quickly, grab a pen and paper, and we'll quickly go into a quick little bit of a self-assessment for you. Wonderful. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and all you can write down is number 1 or number 2 under each one of those statements that I ask you. So here's the first one. How do you get energized? When your energy is dropping, when you need replenishment, how do you get energized? First option, you're sociable, outgoing, expressive, like interaction and thinking out loud. First option. Or you're quiet, prefer thinking one-on-one, enjoy being alone, and keeping your thoughts private. First or second? Give you a quick moment to look at that. You're sociable, outgoing, expressive, like people interaction and thinking out loud, or prefer being quiet, talking one-on-one, enjoy being alone and keeping your thoughts private. Great. Second one. What do you pay attention to? First option, factual, realistic, the practical, the here and now and operating from experience. Or conceptual, imaginative, future-orientated, enjoy new ideas and considering possibilities. First or second? Which one would you prefer and is more natural for you? Factual, realistic, practical, the here and now, operating from experience, or conceptual, imaginative, future-orientated, enjoying new ideas and considering possibilities. How do you make decisions? So next question is, how do you make decisions? Are you curious, logical, analytical, questioning, prefer an objective and a rational approach, seeking knowledge? Or genuine, compassionate, base your decisions on values, relationship-centered and harmonious? Which one is more your natural style? How you make decisions? More thinking or more feeling? And final question. This one is slightly more abstract, but I'll explain it, is the lifestyles you choose to adopt. So if you and I were to go away for the weekend, do you want to plan it out? First option, so you're decisive, organized, plan ahead, set goals, meet deadlines, prefer order and routine, plan things out. Or the second option, more flexible, just go with it. Get in the car and just drive, flexible, adaptable, enjoy change, being spontaneous, or like to keep your options open. So first option, more planning, organizing, deadlines, decisive, goals orientated. Or the second one, more flexible, adaptable, enjoying new opportunities, keeping your options open. Beautiful. Hope that you are with me on that point. And that's the assessment done. So let's quickly reflect on that. So if you chose the first option at number 1, then the answer you can write next to that is extroversion. If you chose the second option, you can write introversion. So first one, extroversion, or if you pick the second statement, introversion. Number 2 is if you pick the first option, you can write down sensing or intuitive. Sensing or intuitive. The third one, decisions that you make. The first statement, write down thinking, and the second one was feeling. So these are the answers to the questions we've just answered. And the final one is number 4, judging was the first statement, and the second one is perceiving, judging and perceiving. So one of my favorite things when I do this in groups or one-on-one is to almost dispel the myth around this thing around introversion, extroversion. Oftentimes what we find in the business world is that there is a perception that being an introvert is that you're not able to communicate with people. And the very important thing around this particular area is not about whether you can communicate, it's about how you get your energy. The question was, how do you recharge? And people who know me, it's always a joke in our company is, we say Chantal is the introvert. I'm a natural introvert. When I have been depleted of my energy, I prefer to recharge one-on-one. But I'm able to engage, I'm able to influence people. But what I have to be very careful of is how my energy tank is being managed. So I have this beautiful soul sister, and she is absolutely recharged by going out. So she'd have a hard day of working 8 to 6 in the evening, and then go and meet her friends for coffee and come home recharged. For me, on the opposite side, I want to go and read a book and have a bath and just kind of decompress.
Hello, can everyone at least hear me? I just want to find out when froze happening. The lines are frozen in Cape Town. Let me quickly find out where Chantal. Just hold on for us a quick. Someone else is probably. Let me quickly find. Okay, everyone. Restarting, and we're seeing the signal disappeared and everything got frozen. I think I've learned a lot. It just shows how important it is, your brand and who you are. I said, Bertie says, they said that Edge has a connectivity problem. Maybe that is what we are experiencing. Well, yes, definitely. It can be. Last year challenge to stay connected. I hope we can get access to the slides in order to get the full picture. Party definitely, and the recording. So we will make sure that everything gets done. Bad signal probably. Yeah, I think anything, with this load shedding and everything that is happening, it does throw a challenge. But yes, Chantal, she is back, and luckily it didn't take an hour to rectify. So let me quickly get her up and running for those who are still on. Chantal, let's see if you can connect.
Hello, Kobus.
Hello, Chantal.
Hello.
Yes.
How is the sound quality on your side, Kobus?
It's very good. Back and welcome back, and the floor is yours.
Wonderful. I just want to make sure that I'm having to do a screen share again, so we're seeing if the page is loading.
So it's busy
There's
sharing.
Screen loading.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone's patience. Appreciate it. Kobus, confirm that you.
Did you click on the button that you need to share this? Do it easy, entire screen.
It seems to be buffering slightly, which is not ideal, but it is. It says screen loading.
Yeah, technology today. Everything has been going well until yesterday and today.
Anything happening on your side? Oh, well, something's happening, I think now.
Okay.
The gremlins. That's perfect. So just want to confirm, Cobus, that you are able to hear my sound qualities coming through well?
Yeah, it is coming through. I think you can keep talking. You did send me.
You are now showing her. My.
Okay, so now I can share my screen, my side. I'm gonna do it my side, and then you take it through. I just want to see where you were last on the screen. Okay.
Cobus, how is the sound?
I'm gonna share it then from my side, and you can just tell me when to click forward and backwards. Okay.
Perfect. I'm gonna lift my finger, and you'll know what to say. Click.
Yeah. So.
Sonia, you were saying that there was heavy feedback. Is that still the case or not?
Keep
so
talking.
It seems your page is loading on your side as well, Cobus.
Yeah. Can you see?
Wonderful. Thank you, Sonia. Perfect. I can appreciate the feedback. Thanks, Sonia. I can see the slides. Thank you, Cobus. If you want to just maybe make those big for everybody else. So just to confirm is I lost you guys approximately at the point of at least I covered a good part of the, well, let me just do a short recap. When in doubt, rather just do a gentle recap. So the short assessment we did is a very mini Myers-Briggs that we do oftentimes from an NLP perspective. So it's personality-based. The first two areas we looked at is introversion versus extroversion. The second one is big picture versus detail conscious. The third is whether you make decisions on thinking versus feeling. And the last one, it sort of alludes to it in the explanation of the description, is judging of people who are very, almost like your A-types, get things done, goal-driven, results orientated. That's sort of a fit in terms of how they approach things. Where your perceivers oftentimes are, and almost you can say more right-brained, and then the perceivers are a lot more left-brained. So it's a lot more around creativity, open to new ideas, not always good at kind of meeting the deadlines because there's always more options. You know, what else could we do? So, which is great from an innovation and creativity perspective, and you got the balance of those two. Next slide, Cobus. So when you put those, Cobus, if you're able to press the next slide, would be wonderful. And here I'm hoping that Cobus is still on and he's able to hear me. Cobus? Oh, there we go. Something's happening.
Oh, is it happening now? Okay, because
5 seconds delay. All right, I'm seeing something about a 5-second delay, so let's see how that goes. And again, why I bring up this particular picture, which to me was quite a profound one, is these are some really famous world entrepreneurs. And when I deal with people, oftentimes they say, oh, I wish I was more of a big picture thinker and not just a detail conscious, or I wish I was much more of a planner and an organizer. And the power of seeing this is it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, Jeff Bezos pretty much created Amazon, which has disrupted the retail industry entirely. J.K. Rowling was largely unemployed and then wrote a book which has become a world phenomenon. People like Richard Branson is the king of reinvention, and he is not a planner and not an organizer, not deadline driven. So it doesn't matter what your combination is of those 4 different or those 8 different areas. It's really about saying is how do you make magic with what you've got in your toolbox? And no matter what your combination is don't be putting yourself or allow others to put you in a box. Is you have the ability to do anything that you put your mind to. Success is there for everyone. And then Kobus, if you want to get into the next slide. So when we spoke earlier, I asked you guys if you were to be a Disney character, who would you be? So a little bit of a cute quirk is we've actually got the Disney characters based on the Myers-Briggs personality types. So Kobus, if you're able to move 2 slides down, and then you should be seeing the characters of the Myers-Briggs based on the Disney characters. And as there could be delay, we're going to go give Kobus just one moment to move into the next 2 slides. So one more, Kobus. Wonderful. So you're welcome to look out for yourselves there. If you're an ENFJ, then you have a similar personality to Mufasa. If you're an INFJ, Pocahontas, I'm not sure if anybody mentioned Pocahontas earlier. In terms of the ENTP is Robin Hood. Kobus, you're welcome to move on to the next slide for us. And we'll see the remaining 8 personality types. So in those ones, we'll see characters like Woody from Toy Story is an ESTJ. Snow White and Aurora are ESFJs, these strong feelers, extroverted, detail-conscious ladies. And in terms of ISTP, someone like Pumbaa, who's got no worries in the world. So those are the personality types. So moving on to the next slide, Kobus, if you may, is what I clearly and 100% believe is that life is not about finding yourself. You're not lost. Life is about creating yourself. Coming from a place of creating the life that you want for yourself, this crafted life. So we move on to the next slide. If you talk a little bit more around this, how to build this personal brand. So we've seen that there is a need and there's a demand for you to have a personal brand and to manage that very proactively and consciously. The next part is how do we build this brand? So building your brand, it's important that you are conscious of your image. You know, your headshots, what are you putting out in social media around yourself, whether that be on Facebook, a Sunday chill, or your professional picture on LinkedIn, is what kind of audience are you looking to attract, and what is your purpose with the intention of what you put out into the world? So align your core values and mission to this image you're putting out of the world, this to-be list. The second one is communicating with people. In today's life, I mean, social isolation has been crazy, but if you wanted to try to build this career and to promote yourselves across this, no more a career ladder, but a career jungle gym and navigate it well, you need to be able to communicate openly and clearly. Find mentors, find people who are your sponsors in your career. Keep finding movers and shakers to align with. The next thing is promote yourself. Have this endorsement mindset. And I think social media has made it so easy for us, is choose carefully what you put out there, but then have this endorsement mindset. People are able to follow you and have an interest in, and take guidance and inspiration from you. And then being able to succeed long term really is about having a focus of being more of a content creator than just a content consumer. The time for us just to wait for someone else to create the great ideas is no longer the case. You have got that limitless potential inside of you to be the content creator. Moving on to the next slide, Kobus, whenever you're ready. So the last part that's really critical is to be a person of your word. I grew up, kind of, my grandma said, your word is your oath. You know, be authentic. That's part of being reliable, is that if you make a commitment, that you honor your commitment and that you're true to your word, that is worth more than any qualification and job title is. If you're true to your word, I believe opportunities will always open up for you. And then just considering, what is your brand logo? What are you putting out in the world? We speak about that. Cobus, you're welcome to move the slide. Is we speak about your brand logo. Is your brand logo your pictures out there? Is it the track record of what you're delivering in your work? Oftentimes when we do career consulting with people and their CVs, or we call it a portfolio of evidence, is oftentimes I get these pages upon pages of responsibilities. And the first thing I say to people is, I don't want to know what you're responsible for. If you are an executive assistant, I want to know is how good are you at that job? I want to know what your outcomes have been. And it's really so important. That's what we call a CV, is sort of rebranded in our company as a portfolio of evidence, is saying is, show me what you've done. Show me your proof. What have you been able to deliver? And if you have that mindset change about saying is, a job has responsibilities, a career has outcomes, it has deliverables, it makes impact. Whenever you're ready, Cobus, the next slide. And the important thing is, what people are looking at from your portfolio of evidence is they read between the lines, is what do they infer about that? I always say is, when I didn't pay you to be a leader and a team player, is were you doing sports and culture and achieving at school? Now that I'm paying you, everybody wants to be a leader, but is that something that was natural for you to do before? Someone quoted me saying this a couple of years ago, so now we roll with it, is that if qualifications mean nothing, if you have it, it means everything if you don't have it. And if you've got a degree, no one asks you about it anymore. But in many cases, to be able to be promoted to the next level, in a professional career, oftentimes qualifications are needed. At high levels of management and leadership, postgraduate qualifications are required. And in order to do that, it's really critical that you have them. Once you have them, it stops mattering. But they are almost like your rite of passage. They are the ticket that you have to hand in at the door to be able to get into the next level of play. And the next part is around strategic positioning. It's so critical that you really put thought and planning around how you position yourself in your business, with your leader. I have some people saying to me is, I don't often talk to my boss and he doesn't ask for meetings. I'm saying is, who's stopping you from creating the meeting? Put that coffee discussion in on a Friday, 15 minutes, checking and saying, how am I doing? What do I need to do to meet my deliverables? What do I need to do to exceed my deliverables? You are in charge of your career and your destiny. Make it happen. In Afrikaans is a word called woeker. The closest one to English is hustle. You've got to hustle with your talents. You've got to woeker with what God gave you. Woeker with your ideas and find a mentor who can help you on that journey. The next slide, if you wouldn't mind. So in terms of touching a little bit deeper in terms of directly and online marketing of ourselves. We speak so of marketing businesses, but like we said, is put this hat on of you are a brand too. And whatever you're putting out into the social media, into daily walk of work and private life is also part of how you're branding and marketing yourself. So in terms of internal, get yourself a sponsor. Get yourself a mentor, someone who is able to have those conversations saying, is this guy or this lady is making some shakes in the business. This is someone who we deem as talent. In these tough times, I believe that, yes, many of our routine jobs are going to be reduced. But similarly I do believe that talent is the trump card. If you are talent, you will have a job. People will make a way for you and they'll fight for you. When it comes to Facebook and LinkedIn, is manage those almost as portfolios of evidences and of marketing material about you, and connect to creating your network, but also professional bodies. Anywhere where you're able to get more interest of like-minded people, learn more knowledge, grow your network is incredibly powerful in terms of promoting your career going forward. The next two slides, I can see that we've lost a little bit of time, so I'm going to just move over these quickly so we can go another slide on. In terms of elevator speech, it's one of my favorite and people's probably least successful interview questions is, tell me a bit about yourself. And so rarely do people have that elevator speech ready. Do they know who they are, what they do, what makes them unique and stand out? Because that's your authentic value proposition, and how you do that. Because if people are buying the brand of you and you want them to invest and you want to create value, is you need to be able to have a top of mind answer to these 4 questions. Because if you were to be able to walk into the elevator with someone you respect, who you'd like to have the opportunity to work with, work for, or to sell your service offering, you need to always be elevator ready. And that's a 20-second elevator speech you need to always have on hand. The next one is just sort of in closing. Is your 5 keys in your personal branding. So in order to rebrand yourself, if you're able to take a step back and look at yourself and understand and decide, I think everything is about decisions and choices, is if you choose who it is you want to be in the world, you're able to rebrand what it is you want to take into the world. So first step is to define your destination. What is this path you want to go to? What is the stamp you want your career, your life's work to be in this world? The second thing is to leverage your point of difference. Figure out what makes you unique. With so many people, to a point, a diminishing amount of opportunities, and not even just, I think it's more about so much disruption happening, so much change is happening, people having to reskill, relook, is what do you bring that is authentic, and be able to showcase and make that known, market yourself in your different audiences you go to. Develop your narrative, that elevator speech. Know it off by heart. If I woke you up 3 o'clock in the morning, could you tell me who you are, what you stand for, what you do, and how you do it, and your why? Reintroduce yourself. There is a beautiful kind of a sense in sales environments, is every month is a new start. No matter how good or how bad it happened the previous month, every month is a new start. And that's the same thing for day. Every day is a fresh start. You can always press the refresh button like I had to do earlier, or the restart button. And then just start. Is rebrand yourself. Relook at your information, how you show up to work. I've had this beautiful experience yesterday, someone I was coaching, and in this lockdown period was such a beautiful healing experience for her, that her husband said to her is, you are showing up as a different person. And nothing changed other than she had time to reflect and spend time with herself, which was so necessary for her. So the beautiful thing is we can always kind of change. Yes, first impressions are lasting, but at any point in time, you are able to change the impression that is out there about you. And the last thing is to prove your worth. And I think the most valuable lesson I learned is that legends and heroes and champions are born in the last mile. Not when you start, not when you practice. It's the last mile. Is sometimes you think, but I've done my 99%, how much more? I've done so much. If you are stuck in looking at what you've done before, and well, there's the proof already. Until someone says you're done, you're not done. Until you have taken the last bone marrow out of what there is to give in you, your potential is not at its limit yet. There is more that you can give. There is more that you can do. So in closing, your purpose is your big picture, the internal vision that you would like to achieve. When you combine clear values, engage your passions, and take on-purpose action, you can follow the personal roadmap to the destinations that you choose. Final slide. One of my favorite quotes goes something like this: I choose. I choose to live by choice, not by chance. To make changes, not excuses. To be motivated, not manipulated. To be useful, not used. To excel, not to compete. To choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice, not the random opinions of others. You choose. And if you have the opportunity, please do watch the movie Inside Out. And what really kind of stood out for me is get back into the driving seat of your mind, of your heart set, your soul set, your health set, your mental set, mindset, and really engage that joystick and find your joy, find your purpose, find your passions and go till there is nothing left of what's been given to you. Make it your best year, make it your best day, make it your best lifetime. So in terms of special offers or something just to give back to you, I know that we actually had some technical difficulty on this call. And for that reason, what I will do is I will actually do a, my team and I'm going on the fly here. My team and I will send out an emailer to you to offer you the opportunity that we will probably in the next 2 weeks or so do a replay of this webinar. And please, anybody who'd like to join is very welcome to do so. I will send you a summary of this presentation and also just a seed and feed recording. If you want to go into that pause moment and find that or create that space to really reflect on yourself, that exercise will be a beautiful precursor to kind of get you there. And then for anybody who's on this call, is my team and I are very happy to do a review of your e-portfolio, be that your curriculum vitae, be that your social media, LinkedIn pages. Anybody's on this call we're offering, we'll do a free sort of a review and screening for you, 10 minutes or so. And then for anybody who'd like to, you're welcome to join our 101-day Reskill Revolution. At PeopleShop, I am 100% passionate about people breaking the boundaries on these limits we put against ourselves, whether that be the mental roadblocks, the physical excuses, the emotional shackles. You are able to reskill yourself in every part, health-wise, mental space, physical, body, emotional, whatever is required. And we'd love to be on a journey with you in order for you to upskill and really take your life by the horns. And then for anybody who'd like to, what we'll be doing in the next 2 months is we're actually going to have, Kobish, you're welcome to move down one slide for us, is we're going to actually run a full career masterclass. So we'll be doing the full masterclass, which is a full workshop. We'll be including 4 psychometric assessments for you, which are particularly career focused to help you to unpack your interests, your career values, your personality. We'll include a workbook into that. We'll actually review and help you to rewrite your social media page as well as your curriculum vitae. And then we'll be part of pretty much a mentorship program with a new executive mentor that we brought on with our team. It'll help you in terms of support group for 33 days to help you be accountable to really take your career and your life forward, creating your career, not just responding to that. And then for any other further assessments that you do with PeopleShop, we'll give you a 25% discount. For me, it's so important that we use assessments for insight and then we make thereafter contemplative decisions about where we want to go. Fail fast is one of my favorite things. Fail fast, reskill, adapt, and make it happen. So that is pretty much us. I am so grateful for the time, and if you want to take us up on this opportunity, please be in contact. If you've got the last slide up, my email address is there. Our company email is on there. Please get in contact with us. Myself and the rest of the PeopleShop team would love to be of value and of service to you. Over to you, Kobus. I see Belinda's got a question, so while I wait for Kobus, Belinda, in terms of the offer, so what we're doing, we're actually it speaks 2 parts to you. So number one is we're hoping to get a good number of people on this. I think people are sort of webinared out. So our intention is to have the workshop in the month of August, probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And for me personally, what I'd probably do is if someone's got an interest in it, I would like to not have time be our issue. So time, someone once said is, I've got lots of problems, but money and time is not one of it. So we'll try to make it and customize it so people are able to attend. It'll be in the month of August. We'll just confirm dates. And the second thing is, in partnership with Superman, is we are going to be doing a one-day women's get-together, a women's connection the 7th of August. So we were kind of prioritizing that event first. As Women's Day is approaching in August in South Africa, we are hoping to run an event where we're going to online give you a little bit of fuel for your mental health, your physical health, your leadership, your team dynamics, your body, your mind, your soul, and all these things. So we'll be creating that for the month of early in August, and thereafter we'll have the webinar.
Yeah. Thank you, Chantal. Is there anyone else that has any questions? Yeah, apologies about the previous break, but it just shows you if you are prepared. If Chantal didn't send me the slides, we probably wouldn't have been able to finish. But it just shows you to always have a backup plan, and just prepare for the worst, but then you expect the best, and then we could do it. So, thank you for that, Chantal, and thank you for stepping up. I called you out to say come and join, and you said you didn't even think twice. You said yes, let's do this. Okay, let's quickly say Sonia loves you, Chantal. Love the failed line. Wow, neat details on Women's Day. She wants to be part of Women's Day. Wonderful offer. When does the course start? I think you just said that. Thank you. Great presentation. Lots of good for thought. Yes, thank you, Chantal. This was awesome and learned the Lords love you, what you teach. Thank you so much. I love the presentation. Powerful. Thank you. I've given. Now I just move. Love you. Thank you. I love your presentation. I've given me a lot of to do to think about. Yes, Ellen, I totally agree. Chad, yes, please, Chantal makes the slides available. Yes, everyone. All the gifts and freebies and slides, etc., will be given out from Friday. I think that is tomorrow, but on the latest on Monday, you will get your emails with all the download links that you can do. For those who are interested, I see a few of you asked for that. Anyone that is on here, what personality type is Bella again?
I'm checking for you quickly. So Bella's not on here, but if if we ever have a cup of coffee together electronically, obviously at this point in time, I'll figure it out. But I can tell you that Pocahontas and Mulan are INFJs, the confidants. Ariel from The Mermaid is an ENFP, which is the champions. And other ladies I found here is, the ESFJs, which is the supporters, are Snow White and Aurora. So Belfort is close to Aurora, but not 100%, but I'd probably go with a close ESFJ. Lizelle is INFP, says Lizelle. Thank you, Lizelle.
Okay. I just want to say thank you, Chantal. Thank you for taking time. I see there's one more question, and then we're going to call quits today. I just want to say thank you for everyone. There's 2 more talks to go this evening. I'm looking forward to those. And then at last, this 2 weeks meeting of the minds is not over yet because the replays are running until the end of the month for everyone to go rewatch. Thank you, Sonia, and thank you for being part of this journey. For the rest, I see people are going now. Chantal, thank you very much. Any last words? And then I'm finishing this talk today.
No final words. Such a pleasure to be here. And well, long short is take your career by the horns and create the life you want to have.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. See you this evening.